Hi, it's Phoenix Genesis. Good news. Last week, the Pacific Crest Trail class of 2024 Bandana shipped from Yogis Books. Order them if you can before they're out. I know you can get them free on the trail, but usually they're out before I'm able to ever get them. I think I got them maybe once or twice free on the trail over the 9 years. So better to buy them. I don't have every year, but I really wanted it this year. It's a pretty color. They're different colors. So here's the full bandana. And get two because you can keep, if you lose it, then it's gone, and it's your class bandana, it's your memory. So you could frame one, keep it as a souvenir, nice, show people, take one with you, get people autograph it with Sharpie or filter water with it, wear it in lieu of a buff. It's a nice little handy map, especially if your phone dies, just to kind of get a overview of the different areas. And I've been on the trail 9 times, but I haven't been past Sierra City, north of Sierra City. My boyfriend hiked a lot of Oregon as a kid when he lived up there in the summer. So I've never been to Oregon. He's been to Washington too. So I know the first half of the trail like the back of my hand, but everything after Sierra City, forget it. That I don't really, not familiar with any of it. So this comes in very handy. And what's really nice is you can also use it for hitchhiking. So you see hiker to trail, hiker to town. So you don't have to make a separate sign. And this nice bright yellow too, kind of hang with the white, with the blue, I think stands out very nice. And you've got, this is how many miles you have in California, 1692.8. You can see that it starts here at the Mexican border, Lake Morena, then it kind of goes in here along the Angeles Forest. It starts going in, and then you're going up. You're almost at this is Lake Tahoe right here south, so you're almost in Nevada at this point. And then you're going back up almost to the coast again, and then you're going up Oregon, up Ashland, Bridge of the Gods, and then up into Washington to Canada right here. And you've got 456.9 in Oregon, much flatter but full of mosquitoes and fires by the time you go there. And then Washington, 505.5 miles. So yeah, even though they say it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, it's still you still gotta leave before the desert gets too hot, and you got to balance not having too much snow in the Sierra and get through the fires and mosquitoes in Oregon and not be snowed in Washington. So it's still stressful. People think it's just some big vacation, but it can be a lot of work to hike the trail. One thing that Yogi did, which I love, was very, very nice, is she added the Sobo this year in addition to the Nobo, and that becomes very handy because I've done Sobo and it gets complicated, and I like being able to have the mileage both ways. Also, if you want to yo-yo the trail, it's really handy, which I'm debating if I want to do that. Depends how much snowpack we have and my time and my finances. Anyway, and how much I miss my family and my doggies, my boyfriend, my friends. It's hard, I like being out there, but once what they say, like every adventure, when you're out there, you're thinking of home. When you're home, you're thinking of going on your next adventure. It's a balancing act, just got to be in the now. So anyway, so what's really cool, another thing that she did, which is really great this year, is, well, this has been before, but the dividing of the different sections is according to Far Out, which used to be called Gut Hook. I still call, all us old timers still call it Gut Hook. So you have the Mexican border to Hiker Town, which is 517.6, and then you switch to the next section, which is basically the Sierras. So you're starting at Tehachapi, moving into the Sierras to Kennedy Meadows, and then you've got all of the Sierras here until you get to Sierra City. That's kind of the end of the big Sierras, and then you're going into Northern California, Sayad Valley, and then she has a nice gap here, so you're now entering Oregon without having to say it. So here we have Ashland, and then you go up to Cascade Locks, which is a Bridge of the Gods, another gap in the bandana map, and this starts Washington, and then you go to Canadian border, the end of Washington. So that's cool. And like I said, here's all your Sobo mileage. So that's very, very cool. It also helps too because, okay, so you get to Washington and then you got to figure out and subtract. But here you can just look and you can see how many miles you've got in Washington. So once you hit Bridge of the Gods, you got another 423.6 miles. And which is weird because, wait a minute, here it's saying Washington's 505. Oh, okay, because of Cascade Locks. Sorry about that. That's weird. I guess because it's a border sheet, it's hard. You can put it in either one. I would have put it there and left the gap there. But anyway, but that gives you kind of a nice little idea too. Like once you get here, you see you have another 935.5 miles for those mathematically challenged. You don't have to figure anything out. It's just right there for you. So that becomes very, very handy. One other thing I was going to say is the mileage on the trail changes, you know, slightly. So 2,650 has been 2,652 to now it's 2,655.2. So it's not accurate. And the other thing is, I'm going to give you a nice, so you take a screenshot of that and put it, or download one and then put that in your camera roll or in your file folder and have it as a reference. Another thing too is you're going to hike way more than that amount of miles, because you're going to be running around town. You're going to like drop something you have to go back for. You're going to get lost and have to backtrack. Maybe you have to go back because your friend's behind, and you know you got to go back because they're tired and they found a better campsite, or you went too far and that campsite wasn't good and you got to go back, or you miscalculated a water source, which I did. It said one year I was going Sobo and it said unreliable on far out, and I thought it said reliable because I was so tired and dehydrated and there was no water there, so I had to take a side trail. So there's a lot of things that are going to add up your mileage way more if you have to walk to town because you can't get a good hitch, you know. So a lot, or you don't want to hitch, you know, which is getting scarier if you're with a group and the person doesn't appear too creepy or like a drunk driver. But I don't know, hitching's kind of creepy. You know, I had a bad experience up in Sierra City with a drunk driver. So anyway, everything's going to change your mileage. It's going to be way more than that mileage. So just remember that, you know, that you're not, you know, when people say, oh, it's 12,000 steps, 600, you know, 6 million, no, 6 million steps, 12 million, whatever. It's going to be way more. Put a pedometer on if you want to know the exact one that you're doing. Nobody's going to be doing the same. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, grab the bandana if it's still available. You'll regret it if you don't have it, and I'll see you on the trail. And depending on how the water condition, snowpack condition goes, I check that daily on the California government website, and I also check that on San Jacinto Trail Report, a valuable resource that John is so kind to do for us. And that's going to help me decide whether I have two permits. I have a local permit and I have the regular permit that I got, the PCT permit. I may leave the end of April. I may leave like the very beginning of April. So now today, as of today, I have those options. So just keeping everything open, making a gear list. I've got a really great app I'm using. I think it's called Pack Light. I'm going to go over that probably tomorrow or the next day and show you how to use that. Much better than the one online. You can do it right on your phone locally, and just much more useful. And I'm figuring everything out right now, and I'd love to have a 5-pound base weight, but it's looking, especially if I leave earlier, because I know when I was left April 1st, 2016 in Lake Morena, it got down to 32 degrees, and even last year in May, it got down to 25 up at Mount Laguna in May, and it was cold, wading through all that cold water, Boulder Oaks up to my waist, and then you watch my videos, and then it got down to like, 20, I think 25 there too, or something, freezing. It was so cold. So anyway, I got a warmer quilt. I'm taking my new 20-degree Enlighten equipment quilt, which I'll make a video on that too, the Enigma. So I'm gonna, I don't think I can get down to a 5-pound base weight. I think it's gonna like be closer to 6.5. So 7, still very ultra light, but you know, I'd like to be a little more comfortable. I'm going to bring a pillow and probably a nice warmer air mattress. I mean, I'm going to figure that out, but definitely I'm going to bring a pillow. I don't care. Judge me. You know, it's not a luxury at my age. So anyway, Phoenix Genesis, and I'm so excited. I'll see you guys on the trail. Bye.